We've got video number 10. Our goal for today, you will be able to solve multi-step linear equations. Today, we're going to include a new strategy called cross multiplication. All right, we're going to jump right into it. So let's go ahead and take a look at our notes here. So here is your checklist. So when solving linear equations, the first thing we always want to do is try to remove any parentheses by using distribution. Then we're going to combine like terms that are on the same side. Isolate the variable on one side and the constant on the other, and then solve using the appropriate operations. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at number one. Now, number one, I have brackets and I have parentheses. Now, brackets are just a fancy way of writing parentheses, but it's when there's a double parenthesis. You always want to start with the one that's on the inside. So I'm going to start here with this inner parenthesis. So the 7x is going to stay the same, minus the bracket's going to stay the same, the 4x is going to stay the same. Now I'm going to distribute this -3 to everything on the inside. Minus 3x, and then -3 times -1 is a +3. All right, equals x plus 12. Now I'm going to go ahead and I want to get rid of the next set of parentheses, which is just the brackets. So to do that, I have to distribute that negative, but the 7x out front stays the same. Negative times a 4x gives me a -4x. A negative times a -3x gives me a +3x. And then a negative times a +3 is going to give me a -3. Equals x plus 12. Okay, so now we removed all the parentheses. So step 2, combine like terms on the same side. So here's my equal sign. So let's look at the left side. Can I combine anything? We sure can. We have a 7x, a -4x, and a 3x. So this is going to give me we're going to add those together and we're going to get, so here we get 3x plus 3x is going to give me, not 3x, 6x minus 3 equals x plus 12. Okay, now there's no other common terms, so now we're going to isolate the variable on one side and the constant on the other. So to do that, I'm going to bring the x over. Since it's a positive x, we're going to subtract the x. The x's cancel. We're going to have 5x minus 3 equals 12. Now I'm going to add 3 to both sides, because I'm bringing the constant to the other side. So now I have 5x is equal to 15. And then I need to get the x by itself. Now the 5 is touching it. That means it's multiplication. Opposite of multiplication is division. And we end up with x is equal to 3. All right, let's go ahead and try another one. So number 2. So again, the first thing we want to do is remove the parentheses. So here I'm going to distribute the x. So I have x minus x squared plus 2x minus 4 equals 8x minus 24 minus x squared. Here's my equal sign. So now we're going to try to combine like terms on the same side. So if I look here, I have x and 2x, so altogether that's going to give me 3x. Now this negative x squared, now I want to put this in standard form. That's my highest power, so I'm actually going to put that in the front. The 3x was a positive, so it's a plus, and then minus 4 equals, now I'm going to rewrite this side. So here we're going to write it as negative x squared plus 8x minus 24. All right, now if I take a look here, I have a negative x squared on both sides. Let's see what happens if I try to transpose that to the other side. We add x squared. Ooh, look at that. It's going to cancel here and it's going to cancel there. So now what's left is 3x minus 4 equals 8x minus 24. Now I'm going to transpose. This time I'm going to transpose the x to the right-hand side. So I'm going to subtract 3x. So now I have -4 is equal to 5x minus 24. Now the x is on the right, which means I want my constant to go over to the left. So now I'm going to add 24 to the other side. and that gives me 20 is equal to 5x. Now my x is on one side, my constant's on the other. I'm just going to divide both sides by 5, and we get x to be equal to 4. Okay, I'm going to stop the video at this point, and I'm going to have you all try question number 3 on your own. Okay, so on your own, show your work. Were you able to get x equals 27? All right, let's go ahead and move on to number 4. So here we've done one like this in class before, but let's just review a little bit. So we have no parentheses. There's no common terms on the same side. So all we have to do now is transpose the x to one side, the constants to the other. Now if I look carefully, I already have my x by itself on the left-hand side. So I'm going to bring my constant to the right. So we have 2/3 x equals 18. Now we have a fraction equal to a whole number. So now we can't divide a fraction by a fraction. You can't divide fractions. So instead we're going to multiply by the reciprocal. Now we multiply by the reciprocal because now the 3 cancels with the 3, the 2 cancels with the 2. We have just x is equal to, and then over here, so as a reminder, your calculator can help you out, 18 parentheses 3 divided by 2, and we get 27. So x equals 27. All right, let's go ahead now and take a look at number 5. So it's almost the same as number 4, a little bit different. Here we have n over 3 minus 4 equals 5. Now when you have an n over 3, if there's no number in front of the n, there's really a 1 there. So really this is the same thing as 1/3 n minus 4 equals 5. So now we can see it's very similar to number 4. So I'm going to have you pause the video one more time and go ahead and try question number 5 on your own. All right, so let's take a look. On your own, show your work. Were you able to get n equals 27? All right, so we're going to flip the page now, and we're going to take a look at some questions that are just a little bit different. So if we take a look now at number 6, how is this different than the front? Well, now, instead of having everything, maybe one fraction, now we have another set of fractions. So we have a fraction equal to a fraction. Okay, so whenever this happens, a fraction, this is the equal sign in the middle, equal to a fraction. Now we know that to get rid of division, you have to multiply. So I would have to multiply both sides by 5. And then over here, then we have to multiply both sides by 3. Instead of doing it in one step, we're going to do something called cross multiplication. And it's a new tool for our toolbox of solving linear equations. So this is how it works. You have to have a fraction equal to a fraction and nothing else. If that happens, you can put parentheses around your binomials. And then what we're going to do is we're going to cross multiply. So the numerator of the first fraction times the denominator of the second. So this is going to become 3 times n plus 2 is equal to, now we're going to take the numerator of the second fraction times the denominator of the first fraction. So 5 times n minus 4. And now this is pretty easy to solve. Okay, there's no more fractions. All we have to do is distribute and then solve. So let's go ahead and do that. So 3n plus 6 equals 5n minus 20. So I'm going to subtract 3n. So that gives me 6 is equal to 2n minus 20. Now since my n is on the right, I want to bring my constant to the left. So now I have 26 is equal to 2n. Divide both sides by 2, and 13 is equal to n. And we got it. Okay, let's take a look now at number 7. So again, fraction equal to fraction. So I can use my new strategy of cross multiplication. I'm going to put parentheses around my binomials. And now, because it's fraction equal to fraction, I can cross multiply. So 3 times m plus 5 equals 4 times m minus 2. So the whole reason we do this is to get rid of the fractions. And now we can go ahead and simply solve. So 3m plus 15 equals 4m minus 8. I'm going to subtract 3m minus 3m. I have 15 is equal to m plus, oops, that's a minus 8. So then I'm going to add 8 to the other side. And I have 23 is equal to m. Okay, so go ahead. I'd now like you to try number 8 by yourself. So you have a fraction equal to a fraction. So once again, we can use our new strategy of cross multiplication. So start by putting your parentheses, and then we're going to go ahead and cross multiply. So 3 parentheses, 3x minus 10 equals, and then we cross multiply the other way, 7 parentheses x plus 2. Okay, now on your own, I'm going to have you pause the video and try to solve. Okay, on your own, show your work. Were you able to get x equals 22? All right, let's take a look now at number 9. So here we have a fraction equal to a whole number. So if you like this strategy of cross multiplication, if one side is completely as a fraction in fraction form, what we can do is we can put the 20 over 1. Now we have a fraction equal to a fraction, and we can cross multiply. So put your binomial in parentheses. Go ahead now, everyone, cross multiply and find your solution. Okay, so on your own, show your work. Were you able to get n equals 77? All right, if you have any questions from this lesson, make sure you come see me tomorrow before school, and we will practice tomorrow in class. Have a great night, everyone.